In OECD countries, the messages on entrepreneurship can be mixed. Is it a serious and large-scale policy instrument, or is it of marginal significance, of real value for only a small number of young people? For many young people, there is also a sense in which their attitude to life needs to be entrepreneurial in current employment markets. Andrew Harrison of Learning Studio describes this type of behavior and attitude.
The idea of entrepreneurship as a pathway to employment and prosperity for young people is one that has a varied history but persists in being significant in some countries in particular. But perhaps we need a more sophisticated way of thinking about entrepreneurship, which takes account of the spirit of entrepreneurship, the set of attitudes that are reflected in entrepreneurial behaviour and mindset, as well as the concrete actions which entrepreneurs, either setting up businesses or expanding them, exhibit. And there seems to be a key difference between a young person who is stuck and may feel abandoned in an experience of unemployment, where they see there are opportunities around, but they think that those opportunities are only available to other people often not like them. And by contrast, an entrepreneurial mindset perhaps sees the same opportunities, maybe sees some others, but crucially sees those opportunities as ones for them, as well as for other people.
In Quebec, for the past 12 to 15 years, there has been a consistent commitment to investment in entrepreneurship as a positive choice for young people in employment. Helen Delaray from Réseau des SAADC describes how entrepreneurship can be a policy tool.
What is interesting in the discussion we have here is how entrepreneurship is not a tool to getting a job for youth. It's surprising because in our experience, we know that it solves a lot of problems just to let's say to the youth that creating their own job, be their boss, is for many youth the solution. We see that there is a problem because entrepreneurship is considered only as an economic development aspect and not is an inclusion solution, is a social inclusion. So it's, we will have to talk more about this in the next future year. But what is interesting is we learn in our experience that we have to talk to youth as soon as possible, 13 years old, when they look at their future unconsciously, to say to them that there will be a way for this, but also we will work more on the youth who are not going to university, not going more in a vocational or technical diploma, because the clientele for entrepreneurship is there. We realize that maybe we force a little bit too much our youth to study in university, and it's not so good. It's crap, if I can say this, their skills and their value for entrepreneurship. So it's in the near future, we will work more on that clientele and pass the message to them.
In the Ukraine, in the city of Donetsk, a similar investment is being made. It is, however, a young program in its first year of activity. Marina Cherenkova, a member of the regional parliament, is an international ambassador for Youth Business International.
I represent the Youth Business International. That's the only accredited program in the post-Soviet Union countries which are recognized according to the UK in the world standards. Why is it so important for my region? Because I belong to the Donetsk region, that part of the Ukraine where the most heavy industries were allocated and still are since the former Soviet Union empire. What are the main challenges? Number one is trust. Number two is skepticism. Number three is changing the mentality. Living within the heavy industry mentality where people used to work in the large teams, almost during the whole life, doing one and the same job, you can imagine that entrepreneurship culture is almost absent. That's why those success stories, which I do represent here, it's 96 young people who set up their own business, and each fifth person hired from 2 up to 5 unemployed young people is the great success for my region. I represent the region where lives 4.5 million people.
It seems clear that entrepreneurship needs to be more central to employment strategies for young people, that it could become more and more important as the need to innovate increases and assumptions about employment security are less stable. Young people themselves seem to value it.